Hey guys, it's Editing Kiara here. I just spent a long time editing this video. What I realized is that we don't really have a lot of context because this video was actually filmed about a month ago. The world looks really different a month later, so I just wanted to put that out there that this video was pre-filmed, but my opinions and thoughts on these things have not changed. They just might have to adapt with how our world is adapting right now. So that's all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I spent a lot of time on it and it might be one of my favorite Q&As. So I love you guys. I hope you guys are staying healthy and occupied. Here is the video. Good afternoon, everybody. I just got my tea. It says motivation in a mug, which I think is honestly kind of fitting for this video. The time has come. We are not avoiding this any longer. It's time to talk about being a senior and what's going on with my life and the future. So if you guys didn't know already, I'm a senior at the University of Oregon. I will be graduating at the end of next term. It's currently winter term, so that's, let's see, it's week 7, so plus 3 weeks, plus finals, plus spring break, 7. In about 15 weeks, I will no longer be a student here at the University of Oregon. I will have completed my major and my minor, and we will be graduating. I just thought I would sit down and have a real conversation with you guys because no one talks about this, and I think we should talk about it. If you guys really want like a good song that really encapsulates what it means to be a senior or how I'm feeling right now, you should listen to Justin Bieber's new song, Confirmation. It's really good, it's really relatable. I went onto my Instagram and per usual, you guys always come in clutch with the most amazing questions. You guys asked them on my story and I screenshotted them and then went through this and circled the best ones. I think the best question to start this Q&A out is actually from my friend Elmire, who has been in many of my videos. She's a senior here too. She basically asks, what do I do with my life? And this is literally step one of what you have to do senior year. You're like, wow, life is really coming at you and things are getting real fast. That's like the number one thing that has not only been a trend for myself, but just also around me. All of my friends are kind of having their own little freakouts of what am I going to do with my life? And obviously it's a very terrifying question and it's something we get asked on the daily. There is so much pressure on these seniors to be able to be like, you have to have this perfect dream plan, job lined up, house selected, roommates selected. The reality of that is that it just doesn't happen that fast. And although this is a time now where everyone's applying to internships and jobs that are hiring during the summertime, no one is like quite getting stuff yet. There's like this intense pressure because you know a handful of people who have stuff and you feel behind because you don't really quite know yet. Although Elle, you are feeling the pressure of what to do with your life, so is literally every single person around you. So it's okay not to have an answer. And when I tell you guys what my plan is, I don't know, I think you'll kind of understand like the different approach that I took to this whole senior year mentality and how I kind of deviated from the typical what everyone else is doing. The two biggest questions that I got from you guys are, one, where am I going to be living / moving next? And two, what's my plan for the future? Or in other words, are you still wanting to pursue medicine, the medical field, nursing? As all of my friends right now are starting to figure out what they're doing, I kind of had mini quarter life crisis feelings about 3 months ago. I'm a human physiology major. I've been working on getting all of my prerequisites done so that I could go into an accelerated Bachelor's of Nursing program and basically get a second undergrad degree. I've been talking to people and I've been using this time to really listen to what other people have to say and the different fields that are available in medicine. And there's something else that I can do that merges a little bit more of communications and what I love to do and the medical field. So one of my awesome friend's parents, we actually had a whole day where I just basically drilled him with questions about what he does. He works in pharmaceuticals. That's not like ideally where I'm headed. I would love to be working at a company that sells medical devices. Honestly, I just think it's a really cool concept that I can take my science knowledge and apply it to a field and sell a product that really can change people's lives. I just want to preface this by saying that I know that medical sales can be kind of a controversial topic. I'm learning a lot about it and obviously would do a ton of research before I just start working for a company and selling a product that could potentially be hazardous. What I think is really cool about this idea is that I could actually be in the operating room and watch this device being installed into patients, and I can educate families on the ins and outs of the device. I really just want to be like an expert on this one product. That's one thing that I'm looking into. The lighting just got messed up again. Just bear with me, guys. So that's obviously one thing that I'm looking into, and during this time that I have off, because I'm not going directly into nursing school, I'm going to be shadowing different people in this profession, also shadowing nurses, and really looking into deciding, is this something I want to do? Because at the end of the day, I was like, okay, I basically had two options. I could bust my butt trying to finish these couple last prereqs and literally go crazy my senior year, also trying to somehow get experience because I don't really have anything on my resume that is hands-on experience in the medical field, and then be applying to all these nursing schools while I'm skiing, while I'm still doing YouTube and my sorority stuff. And I'm like, this is my senior year. I choose to literally just live my best life because I will never get this time back again. And when I graduate, I have all the time in the world to do as much research as I want, really put my heart and soul into these applications, and really apply knowing that I have a fair chance of getting into my dream school. I took a different approach to how I wanted to spend my senior year, and what I've seen like a lot of my friends also follow along either with me or decide to is that, why are we in such a rush? Like, it literally makes you so crazy, and there's such a pressure in our society to be like, you have to go from one school straight into grad school and straight into this, but that's just not the reality. Honestly, if I had applied to nursing school, and even if I got into my dream school, I would have been starting nursing school like 2 weeks maybe, if that, after I graduated college, and I don't know if that's what would make me happy. And part of the reason why I've had such a, I don't know, what I would call a successful college experience is because I know myself and know my comfort zone and when it's okay to say no. Katie Mack, when she was telling me about her plan, she was like, we need to be making steps, not leaps. And I really, really loved how that was phrased, because I truly believe in that. Like, I believe that the next step for me is to make an educated decision on what I want to do with my future, and not spend $100,000 going to nursing school when I'm not even entirely sure that I want to be a nurse. That doesn't mean that nursing school is completely out of the picture. I actually still think it's very much like in the picture, if that makes sense. I hope that answered your question about basically what I'm pursuing. Bear with me. I know you guys are probably a little bit shocked. I'm still actively pursuing the medical field, but maybe not necessarily nursing. We're gonna keep going with the other questions. Do you think you'll move out of state? I mentioned in my previous Q&A video that I was bouncing back and forth between going to California or staying in Oregon, and I have actually made up my mind. I'm really excited to announce that I am going to be staying in Oregon. I'm a Portland girl. As much as LA is really wonderful and the weather's beautiful and there are some pluses, I did not believe that it was the best financial decision for me to move all the way down there, especially because I really felt like if I made that move, it would be super short term. The biggest thing too is that I didn't have the support system in California that I will have in Oregon. I have so many of my sorority sisters who are a grade above me that are living in Portland, and just to be able to see how happy they are with their connections and their whole social surrounding of people that they already know in that place, I just like look at them and I'm like, I want that for myself. I'm really excited. I'm gonna be living in Portland. I've already made a spreadsheet about different apartment places and complexes that I've been looking at. So I feel like my biggest advice if you're also a senior is just to be perceptive of the people in the grade above you, and really don't be afraid to ask them questions, talk to them about their own personal experiences, because I have found that so beneficial. All right, let's keep going with these questions. The next question was, which year did I find the hardest, both academically and personally? I think this is a really good question, and the answer is actually sophomore year. It was really because I was going through a crisis with my major, trying to decide if I was going to double major in journalism and human physiology, or switch my major or stay in it, and I felt like that was such a pivotal moment for me to have to decide. It was also the first year that I was on exec in my sorority, and it was also the first year that I was captain of the ski team, so there was a lot of responsibility and a lot of growing up that happened. I think although it was a very difficult year, it was honestly like one of the best years. They're all good. Like, really looking back, I'm so lucky to be able to say that I've truly enjoyed every single year of college, but for me, sophomore year was the hardest, but also a lot of positive fun times as well. This is a really good question. Am I still involved with my sorority? So as a senior, I think either if you're in a sorority, you kind of know this already, or if you've heard rumors or anything like that about people kind of like tapping out their senior year. This was something that I was a little bit afraid of, because I went from being so hyper involved with my sorority, having a position and everything, to all of a sudden not having a position at all. If I'm being honest, it has been good for me, because I feel like other areas of my life have picked up more. Like, I've been spending more time on YouTube and balancing kind of my work aspect of life. So it was a little bit of a much needed break, and I still do feel very involved. Like, it's a choice to be involved, and I always really like that because I choose to attend events. With sorority life, you really get out what you put in. So I'm putting in the time to show up and actually make an appearance to go to things, and I love going to chapter. Having that time to meet and see my friends every single week is so nice. It's just blocked out in your schedule. This is a really good question. Am I going to study abroad again? So you guys know I studied abroad. I went to Spain last summer for 3 weeks, and I'm just gonna be honest with you guys, I don't really love study abroad. I think it's a little bit overhyped, and there's so much pressure about having to have that experience where it's not necessarily needed for everyone. Like, I think having that experience of traveling abroad and seeing the world is obviously fantastic, but that doesn't necessarily have to be done in a study abroad program. So the answer is no, I will not be studying abroad again. However, I do definitely want to travel abroad again and really have that experience with my friends, and there are so many places I want to go visit, so definitely looking forward to that, and definitely don't regret my study abroad experience in any way, shape, or form. Like, I actually feel like that definitely built some character and taught me so much about how to travel. So I'm happy I had the experience, but I've kind of been there, done that, and just want to travel abroad with my friends without the study aspect. The next question is, do I plan on always staying in Oregon? And I even felt like there was a pressure where by choosing to stay in Oregon, I was somehow taking the easy way out, or, you know, like not pushing myself to be happy. But then I was thinking about, okay, well, would I really genuinely be happier in California? And I just pictured all these different issues and problems and unhappy vibes arising if I were to go to California rather than stay in Oregon. So I just, you know, made a mental decision. And again, this is like a senior thing. Like, you have to just mentally decide to be content with where you are and where you're going to be. Just because you're not moving all the way across the country for some, like, you know, job at a name brand company doesn't mean that you're not being successful or having like a great path ahead of you. Does that make sense? Yeah, so obviously I see myself raising my family in Oregon, but I don't know if I'll stay there forever. Like, I obviously can't predict the future, but yes, definitely, like, I'm an Oregonian girl, and I've always said and will continue to say that I do want to raise my family here. I'm sorry the lighting in this video is kind of bad. It's really sunny. Maybe I'll fix it. Is that better? Yeah, that's way better. I really liked this next question. This one is, what are the ways that you've changed the most from freshman to senior year? Really, the biggest thing is I think I'm really good at not letting myself get stressed out. I believe that was my goal, like my New Year's resolution, either freshman year or sophomore year, and I feel like conquered that. So many of you guys are like, how do you balance it all? You never seem stressed, and I've really just trained myself to be able to say, hey, I don't really have time to have those debilitating feelings of stress. Obviously, I have a lot on my plate, but if I'm stressed, I'm literally gonna whip out my to-do list, write it all down, and start crossing it off. Like, that's a much more productive way to accomplish tasks. So that's like the biggest thing. And then the other biggest thing that I feel like has changed a lot is my ability to work with different people at a really professional level. I think I learned a lot of that from working in my sorority and learning how different people work together and attributes that I really respect and things that I'm just really turned off by and think are very unprofessional. And it's funny because I look at some of my peers or people who are also college seniors, and I'm just like, how in the world do you think you're gonna get away with some of these things that you're doing in the real world? I'm just like mind blown that people haven't learned these skills yet. And it's something that classes don't teach you. You know, it's really all about your involvement. Definitely encourage you to get involved, because that's how you're gonna learn how to deal with people that aren't the easiest to deal with, and learn how to get over it or how to solve the problem, and what makes you someone who's really easy to work with. So those are probably the biggest things. Okay, next question. What am I looking forward to the most when I get out of college? Not having homework. I am so excited just to have like free time and not have to do projects that I feel like are a waste of my time. There are so many things on my bucket list that I want to do for my YouTube channel, for my life in general, like adventure things that I just feel like I don't have time to do because I'm spending hours a day doing problems on mastering physics. So yeah, I'm really excited not to have homework. Yeah, just to be able to have a little bit more freedom to make my own decisions about how I want to spend my time. Did I ever deal with imposter syndrome / not feeling good enough in college, and if so, how did I deal with it? I have imposter syndrome feelings creep up on me in almost every single aspect of my life. It's just a part of life, and again, I really believe that it is all about how you're approaching those feelings. You can acknowledge that maybe you feel like you're not good enough, but at the end of the day, try to push those feelings away. They're not really serving me or doing me any good. So my biggest thing is, if I'm really feeling like that way and I feel in my mind that that's a justified feeling, I'm like, okay, how can I conquer that feeling? Do I need to do more practice problems for a test, work on yourself, or whatever it is that you're feeling like you're not good enough at, and taking tangible steps to actually make a change. And you can never expect to be the
absolute best at anything. And honestly, I don't really want to be the absolute best at anything. I always think there's room to grow in anything you're involved in. So yeah, you're never gonna be good enough. And honestly, that's kind of a good thing. That's what I have to say about that. This is another really good question. What's the hardest thing to make time for during your senior year? I would have to say friends, and it's not even that I'm doing a bad job, it's that I've collected such a wonderful handful of these amazing people that I know in college, and it is so hard to schedule time to meet up with all of them. And someone else asked a really good question, like, how do you deal with the guilt for not hanging out with friends? And I'm like, that is such a real feeling. Like, I really do feel guilty when I'm like, oh my god, we need to do this dinner thing, like, let's totally make it happen. A term goes by and it doesn't happen. So I wish I could see my friends all the time. I think the biggest things is actually making solidified plans rather than having a statement where you're just like, oh my god, we need to hang out soon. It's like, what are you doing Monday? So that's something that I've definitely tried to work on. I'm so fortunate to be surrounded by like my core group of friends. They all live on my floor right now, so that's been really convenient. Definitely highly recommend setting something like that up, because this morning we just had, you know, group breakfast and it just happened to work out. So, you know, if we had to commute or walk 15 minutes to each other's houses, then it's less likely that that's gonna happen. These questions were just so good. I love you guys so much. This next question is, does anyone ever know what they're doing, or do post-grads just keep on guessing? And honestly, no one ever quite knows what they're doing. And so the guessing thing is real, but obviously you do want to have a plan, or at least kind of like a guided plan. My guided plan right now is that I have this apartment in Eugene through August, and Taylor and I will be bouncing back and forth from here in Eugene to Portland, and obviously like trying to find a lease. I'm kind of discovering that it is hard to find an apartment in Portland because everyone loves Portland and the turnover rate isn't as fast as a college campus town. And yeah, during the summer, I just want to have a blast. I want to travel. I want to shadow a bunch. I want to talk to people. I want to interview different people in the professional fields that I'm interested in. And I really just want to be educated. I want to focus on my YouTube channel, and I want to document my entire post-grad journey from moving to, you know, dealing with feelings of not being a part of basically like a college town anymore. Yeah, I just want to talk about it and have like real conversations with you guys. There's so many video ideas that I haven't even touched on my channel really, and maybe you've even kind of started to see the evolution of the types of videos that I'm making. But I know you guys love my study videos. I do a lot more things in my everyday life than just study, and I want to talk about those things. So yeah, I'm kind of excited for that next step in my life, content-wise, I guess you could say. Once I start figuring out what I'm doing, I want to apply for maybe an internship for 3 months, 6 months, maybe a job, just to get my foot in the door and get that experience in the medical field, and then take that, and maybe that means applying to nursing school or working with a company that does medical devices, something like that. Sorry this video is long. I just have a lot to catch up on, and this is what happens when I don't film one of these Q&A videos for a really long time. The next question is, what are my biggest motivators? People motivate me, and I just really recommend you try to find a community of people, whether that be your family, your friends, people you're watching on YouTube even, because for me, like, that's where I draw my inspiration from. And also, I do genuinely feel a pressure from a lot of different areas of my life to perform, and it's not necessarily a bad type of pressure. Like, I think pressure makes you work hard, so I kind of embrace the pressure and just take it and try to get my work done, you know what I mean? Okay, next question. Is it very stressful about graduating and all of that? Now that I kind of have a little plan about what I'm doing for the next year, I'm not stressed about it at all, and I feel like I do really have a good amount of time still to plan ahead. I've already made my beautiful spreadsheet of apartments that I'm looking at, and I'm excited. And I think that's the other thing, is I have so many people to ask my questions to, so talking to my big and being able to bounce ideas off of her and really get her feedback has been really helpful. And I also came into senior year very adamant I'm gonna take this attitude about being very content with my current life, and it's true. I'm just really grateful for every single day. Doesn't matter like how stressful or crazy it is, there's always a moment in every day where I just feel so much gratitude for being able to live in this beautiful apartment, be surrounded by wonderful friends, and just having the opportunity to actually get an education, that the stress like just seems so nominal. I'm just a worker. Like, I genuinely believe things will work out if you're actively like seeking those opportunities, and I have been, and I've been planning and saving for this time. Is it stressful? No, it's doable. Okay, I really liked this question from Hannah. She's wondering, what's one thing that I wish I knew coming into college? She's gonna be a freshman next year, and I think the biggest thing that I wish I knew is how beneficial being 100% yourself is in college. I never realized what being your authentic self can really do in terms of attracting having the right people around you, and really getting these opportunities that are absolutely mind-blowing. Just looking at even the things that I got involved with in school, it's stems from me talking to people and being authentic and putting myself out there. The next question is, am I going to stop YouTube after I start a career in whatever field I get into? And the answer is no. So obviously, like, I have done YouTube all through college. It is so doable to do it. It's not easy by any means, but it's possible, and I just genuinely feel like whatever career or field I jump into, I'm gonna want to bring you guys along. That's the content that I'm looking for on YouTube. Follow me into my mommy blogger years. That'll be really fun. Oh yeah, this is an important question that we must address. Am I going to keep skiing, and what advice do you have for someone who just started racing? So first of all, I'm really excited that you are a ski racer, because ski racing has changed my life. I've really only started talking about skiing and my involvement in the sport in like the past year. It's always something that I've kind of kept separate from YouTube. I feel like the mountain is sometimes like my safe space just to be off camera and not have the pressure of it. But last year, if you guys haven't seen that video, I filmed my entire ski season, and I've been filming this entire ski season, and the memories that we have on film just make me so happy. So I actually enjoy filming it now, and I absolutely love it. So am I going to keep skiing? Yes, that's actually a large reason why I decided to stay in Portland as well, because in California it would be like 6 hours for me to get to a mountain, and I don't know if I would actually survive the winter if I didn't go skiing. So yes, I've been ski racing for 8 years, and the concept of me not being a part of a team is probably like the one thing that really does kind of scare me about graduating. So one of the great things about Portland is that I am super connected to all the different high school teams in the Portland metro area, and my goal is to become an assistant ski racing coach for one of the high school teams. So that's something that's really high on my bucket list, and yeah, I hope to make that happen and really be a part of the sport still. So many people have dedicated so many hours of service for me to be able to have my ski racing journey that I feel like I'm so ready to give back to the sport at this point and help, you know, push the kids and have them hopefully have the same experience that I have. So yes, I'm still going to be skiing, and actually that's like one of the big things that's on my like to-do list for the next year is to be an assistant coach. And my advice for someone who just started racing, I have two things: fully immerse yourself in the sport and really educate yourself on the sport. I spend a lot of time just watching YouTube videos about ski racing. My other tip is just to have fun and really have a positive attitude about it, because some people get super competitive in the sport, and that's just really not necessary. Like, high school me just really got worked up at races, and that can kind of ruin ski racing for people. That actually kind of goes into this next question, which is there something that I'm scared about future-wise? So obviously ski racing, that ending was kind of a fear for me, which I've resolved. My only other thing that I'm like scared for is that I've really never had a relationship in college. Like, I've never had a boyfriend, which is kind of weird because all of my friends around me are now dating someone. So that has kind of been like an interesting adjustment senior year, to be like, oh wow, I'm graduating college and I've never like had this relationship experience. So definitely scared about it, but also like not a priority at the moment, just because I'm really trying to focus on my career and my work ethic, and genuinely don't really quite have time for a significant other until, I don't know, unless it was like really the dream person. So who knows, we'll see. But that's like the only thing that's on my mind is like, oh my god, my parents are getting older, and how many years do I have to date someone, be engaged, get married, and have kids? So I don't know if that's just like a 20-something thought, but yeah, that definitely is going through my head. Let me know if you also feel the same way, because when you actually do the math, you're like, dang, I don't really have that many years till I'm 30 when you like calculate. I don't know. I'm probably overthinking that, but this question is, do I feel pressured to have my life all figured out as a 21-year-old? Well, if the answer to that last question didn't show you that I am feeling pressure to have it all figured out, then I don't know. Yes, obviously I'm feeling pressured. Okay, final question is, here we go. Will I be sad to leave college, or am I ready to take the next step? I'm actually very ready. I've been thinking about this a lot. I was worried about how I would be feeling, but surprisingly, I'm so content with my plan and what I've decided to do, how it's like a decision for myself, and I'm so excited. I'm hyped. Like, as much as I feel like this is very much my school and my home, it totally mirrors the same feelings that you had in high school, especially as like a high school senior. I'm just excited to move into a new place and kind of have a new adventure. future, I guess. It'll definitely be really hard to not have all of my friends in my immediate like 15-minute radius from me. But other than that, like I'm so excited to see what everyone else is up to. I'm so excited to visit my friends who live in different states. I love college. I always will love college. I'm so grateful for the past 4 years, but at the same time, I'm ready to move on. But I also have like a good amount of time till I graduate. So you know what? We're not gonna think about that too much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the Q&A. Thank you for sticking through that. This might be the longest video on my channel ever. I hope it gave you a little bit of comfort to hear what my plan is. And honestly, like if you're a senior in college, let me just say it's gonna work out. Can we all just take like a communal deep breath or something? Like a just sigh, let it all out, talk to someone, talk to me if you want. Like let's start a little comment. Like if you're stuck in life or need advice on anything, let's help each other out because it is stressful and I totally get it. And it's something just to be aware of like, yeah, this is gonna be how you're feeling senior year. Like there is a lot of change, but how can you prepare yourself for it, have the right mentality going into it so that you're not like actually freaking out. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. I also got a bunch of questions on that actual platform about U of O and actual college life, and this was definitely like a personal Q&A / what it's like to be a senior. So stay tuned because I'm going to be probably answering like more specific questions to the University of Oregon in the future because I do want to help you guys out and I do feel like I have some good advice because I've been here for a while. Stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for sticking through this and for following me and my journey. I so appreciate it, and it's been so cool to have like see all of you guys and meet you and hear your stories, and it's honestly so motivating and inspiring to me to like hear what's going on in your life. So follow me on Instagram, DM me, talk to me. I love like building relationships with you guys. Bye guys. See ya later.